Welcome to Finding Random Tech Around the Office, non-tech edition. I'm here with my director, Giles.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be reviewing old tech, which goes back over 20 years. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah, let's go for it. It's all a surprise, so let's see what you've got for us.
Start off with, I've got two old phones. I don't know. There we go. Not sure what year this is from. I don't know if you know.
Well, it's probably pre my time, but I mean, it's got to be, I reckon, about 25. It's got to be a good 25, 30 years ago, I think, this bad boy. I mean, these haven't got batteries on. I mean, they were twice the size. But interesting, these are analog phones.
Are they?
And analog was what was why you needed a phone shop, because basically these would take about an hour to manually configure.
Oh my God.
Whereas when the switch happened to digital, that's when effectively the network could do everything. And all you needed was the SIM card to configure it. Whereas these old bad boys, they were, you needed to actually configure the phone itself to the network. So, yeah, God, these are proper old museum pieces, these are. I mean, God, Motorola 8900 X2. Blimey.
What a classic. I remember playing Snake on my first phone.
Oh, well, exactly.
I wanted to knock it at bricks. I think that's going to stab to lay that down.
Look at that. A couple of classics there, Chris. I don't know where you found them from.
Here is something I do remember. Windows XP and Windows 7 installation discs.
Oh, there you go.
Do you remember using these to download the hills?
Very much so, yeah. That is it. That's what you had to do to get it on there. You know, I mean, I think Windows 7 started to sort of do the download type, but yeah, definitely Windows XP. It was literally you bought it in a box and you put the disc in and it would take about an hour to load the thing. So, and then you had to manually do all the drivers. So basically the way computers work is you've got the hardware and then you've got the software, which is the operating system. But you had to effectively tell the software what the hardware was. So you'd effectively, and that's sort of basically called drivers. So you'd install the software, but then you'd have to manually do the drivers for things like the audio port, the speaker port, all of those things, so that the software knew what was on the motherboard. And then you'd put the drivers in, so that then if you plugged something in, it knew what it was. Yeah. Whereas now, most of it's done automatically. It still doesn't always work, so often you do have to sort of manually update the drivers and things. But yeah, no, proper old school. I hadn't seen the discs.
I know, I've never seen them before.
Oh, right. Yeah. So,
you know what amazes me though? That came out in 2001, so it's been 24 years, and it still takes an hour to download stuff like these days. Just how much bigger the size is now.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I've got other stuff as well, so I found a Word 2000s download disc. I didn't even know you could download Word. I thought it came with Microsoft.
No, it's always been separate. Always, yeah.
And what else I found? All these Microsoft Work Suite discs to download. I thought it would just be the one, but I found 7 parts to this.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, it used to be, because you think that they're relatively small CDs and DVDs compared to what there is today. So some of the bigger packages, you'd have loads of different discs.
I know some of the things I found Work Suite 2002, and I also found Office Outlook 2007.
Well, there you go.
Got Office Home and Student Suite 2007. I'm surprised they were still doing this for 2010 Outlook.
Yeah, well, you can actually still get discs for the latest. You can still do it, and you can actually download them, because some companies will be in secure environments. So, for example, anything for the Ministry of Defence and things like that, you don't just have an open stream, where you can get things. So, still today, but often you might get them on a USB stick. Because again, it's the problem is with discs is they're restricted by size. So you can get dual layer ones and things that are obviously got big capacity. But yeah, they're still relatively small compared to what some of the big Office packages are nowadays.
Wow. Sadly, I couldn't actually find the original disc, but we have a Vista Ultimate Edition disc downloaded. I don't know what you would call this.
Yeah, well, still again, so Vista is still the operating system, but that's 32-bit. So that was around the time when you basically had 32-bit, which, so all of these Windows XP, that is 32-bit system. But the limitation on that is the amount of memory you could use with it. Whereas 64-bit, which is what I think all the operating systems are now, it suddenly opens up the amount of memory that you can use and things like that. So yeah, but that's what we used to do. You see, originally Microsoft would announce a new operating system was coming out, and then us as a Microsoft partner, we would get access to the beta version, so the sort of the pre-release versions. And sometimes we would be on the board where we would pull it apart and, you know, give them sort of ways and whatnot of improving the operating system. And then, yeah, when it was then live, we would literally be able to burn a copy onto a blank disc and away we go. You know, that's how you could do it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Hence that in itself, you know, there's nothing illegal with us being able to burn a copy and draw on it, because it's the license key that you own, not the software itself. So the software is always going to be owned by Microsoft. You purchase a license key, and that license key enables you to use it on one device or 5 devices or whatever the license that you bought. So
there you go. Next up, I have a WebRoot 2011 edition. So this is an antivirus, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it probably is just an antivirus. Yeah, internet security. Blocks viruses, spyware, trojans, worms, keyloggers, and spam. And this is 2011, you know, and it's still, all of these threats are still there. You know, just the way that it does it will be very, very different. And again, it gives the different types of protection on the back. So yeah, that Windows 7 compatible, 30-day money-back guarantee. God, I mean, it says protecting over 7 million people worldwide since 1997.
There we go.
So there you go. So, but yeah, that's an old school one. I think WebRoot probably want that back. I mean, that can go in their museum piece.
Probably.
So, but yeah, free UK based support. Well, I bet they don't put it on their products anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah. So there you go. No, that's a good one.
You know what I was doing in 2011?
Go on then.
I was too busy trying to download Minecraft for free on my PC game viruses.
There you go. That's it.
The IT department at school weren't very happy with me. So, the tech handed me out some random things. I think this is a network connector, but I'm having a guess there.
No, this is actually a power over Ethernet adapter.
That's what I meant.
So basically, there's a lot of devices that will run on the power that goes through the Ethernet socket. So you know your normal network cable. Devices like phones, you can get some of the really small compact printers, various devices like that. So what this effectively does is you've got one end that gives it mains power, that then turns it into the voltage, which is probably 12 volt. And then what you do is you'll put the normal network cable in one side, and then out the other end, the network part will come out, but it will also then be boosted with power. So that then, yeah, you can effectively just have a phone on your desk with just one network cable in it, and then it won't need a mains cable going off. You can also use these for things like network adapters. So if you've got one of those discs, you know, that's on your ceiling somewhere to give you Wi-Fi. If you didn't have that, you'd have to have a main socket somewhere near that power adapter.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can just do it with the Ethernet cable, it's much tidier because you can actually have the cable hidden behind it. So you just see the disc. It'll be a network cable going into it, nice and tidy, and then back at the server cabinet where you've got hundreds of wires, that's where you'd have that. So that then would give it mains power, so that you don't have to have additional power leads and things like that. But often some of the big switches, so the big connector switches that are in, network cabinets and things, they will have this built into it. So power over Ethernet built into it. So it's the opposite of that is Ethernet over power, which is using a mains signal, mains power, and actually passing a network through that. But yeah, this is power over Ethernet. So give your power into Ethernet. So yeah.
There we go. Learn something every day.
Good little gadget. More and more things are coming out with those. So
good. Next up, I really don't know what this is. I thought it was quite funny when they handed this to me. I'm definitely wrong. I would guess something like a pen test, but I don't think that's the case.
No, it's not. This is it's not just a torture device. So this one, you can't really see. I mean, it's not. It's difficult to see. So this is what you call a punch down tool. So as we said about with the network, so a network cable basically has got 8 wires in it, and they're called pairs. So you'll have 4 pairs. Basically, it's got. So you'll have, say, a blue, and then you'll have a white blue. So it's a white cable with the blue dashes. You'll have green, white. So basically, four pairs or 4 twisted pairs. And what this does is inside your network server cabinet, there's a thing called a patch panel, which has got all the holes ready for the network cables to go into it. Behind that, they'll effectively have 8 little, V-shaped grooves where you basically line up that cable, tiny, thin little cable. You line it up, and then with this tool, you press it down. I'm not going to click it because it'll end up thingy in. But you see where it's spring-loaded. See?
Oh, yeah.
You hear that? So you click it down, and then so inside there, and then that basically pushes the wire into that V so that it just sits there perfectly. So it then creates a really nice, clean connection. Because what you want is those 8 cables to be perfectly connected to that patch panel. And then the other end somewhere, it'll be in someone's office. So if you sit down at a desk and there's the little Ethernet sockets there, that with a cable will go back to the patch panel. And they'll have been patched in using that. And then you get other little hooks and...
Oh my God, I've got loads of little
things like that on it as well. Yeah, just because sometimes fiddly little wires, you just need to sort of get in there and hook it out and get it ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, effectively, that is... for building out patch panels.
Wow, very handy little tool right there.
There you go. What else have we got?
Next, we have a Microsoft Access User Guide. I don't know if anyone uses this anymore, if they still use it.
Well, look, it's one of those things. I don't know if anyone ever did use it. It was one of those sort of things that people would... they'd have it on their bookshelf or behind their desk or on their desk to show that they understood Access. But yeah, I mean, God, I don't know what year this is. I mean, this...
I'm guessing 90s?
I think it's got to be. I mean, it is old. Administering the database. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old this is. This is proper old.
What we're running on there? What do you think? Windows XP?
I would have thought so. I mean, even Windows 2000 maybe or something like that. I mean, this is, again, Access is still used. It's the sort of the database-esque program that you get with your Microsoft Office package. It's a shame I can't really see a date to hand, but I would imagine, that is some proper bedtime reading, isn't it?
Well, you sleep straight away.
Exactly, yeah. If you're struggling to sleep, we have got the cure. We
just read this for 5 minutes.
That's it. Read the user guide for Microsoft Access, and away you go. That is some So no, I could lie and say I've read it, but there is no chance. So, but yeah, there you go.
There you go. Heard it here first. Syn-Star, not only providing you with IT support you can sleep well with at night, also with books to help you sleep. Next up, we have the biggest cooling device I've ever seen.
Right. Okie dokie. Right, here we go. Okay. So, well, there's two things here. So this is to cool the memory, but this is a normal strip of memory, which you can't really see it. But effectively, computers they've got a main brain, which is a processor. They've got a hard drive, which is for storing things. So that's the sort of the space side. And then they've got the memory, which is the sort of the part of the processing power. So say part of it, because obviously you've got the main brain, the processor, and then also some of them have also got a separate graphics card, which is for depending on whether you're gaming or creating CAD designs and things, you need that graphic power as well. But what this is effectively, it's just an extra cooling device. And the way that cooling works, nice and simple. And this is how they have fan-free laptops and things. So this gets hot, and the key to heat is to dissipate the heat. That's what it's all about. If it's in a car engine, they've got fans to try and dissipate that heat. Very similar. And actually, this does look like it's probably made of exactly the same stuff that a car radiator is made of. So yeah, effectively, these are connected, so it creates more surface area, which means this enables it to keep it cooler than if it was just there. And bear in mind, these will be in a bank of, you might have anything up to 12 of these in a row. So you think if it's just got this bit and there's 12 in a row, that's so much heat that it can't get out. Hence why you've got this extra bit on top.
That's fair enough. I did think it's like huge for one, but if you're putting them all in a row with 12 of them, that makes a bit more sense.
And that's it. If you've got a PC that's just got 2 sticks of that in, it's, again, depending on what you're doing, but it's probably okay. If you've got a big gaming rig, or especially some of these Bitcoin rigs, they're running at full tilt and it's got, 8, 10, 12 of them in a row. That's a lot of heat. So it's trying to cool that down as much as you can. So.
What about for Microsoft's Word?
Oh, Word won't really take a lot. No. It'll be ticking over on that.
Next up, we have a network cable tester. I only know that because it says it on it.
Oh well, there you go. That's it. So so basically, what this does is, which you can't really see. I mean, there's the 2 sockets there that you can put the plugs in, the cables. So it's got a big yellow button that says test, and then it's got the 8 lights times 2 on it. So as we spoke about with the punch down tool, is a network cable's got 8 different cables in it, so 4 twisted pairs, so 4 pairs, which makes 8. And all this will do is you want to make sure that the cables are corresponding at both ends. Now, it's not, most cables these days are what you call a straight cable, which means as you look at the plug, the one on the left, for example, is green, and the one next to it is green, white, and then it's blue, blue, white. And if you look at the other end, it will be the same. You can get crossover cables, which means they're actually in a different pattern from one end to the other. And the reason that you do that is if you don't have the network equipment that will do the cross for you. So then when you plug it in and you're trying to work out why it isn't working, you can plug it in, press the button, and then it will read which one. Yep. And again, if you haven't, basically the way you work is it's got the little plug on the end, and that needs to be crimped into the cable. So if for any reason it wasn't crimped properly, or maybe there's a loose cable, you can plug it into here, hit test, wiggle the cables around, and then you'll see which one's dodgy. So then you can then, just, find out which one it is, and away you go. So that is a LAN test, network modular cable tester. And of course, what you can do is you can have 2 of them, whereby, or one's a more of a receiver. If you've got a great big building, obviously, you're not just testing a small cable, you're testing one end to the other. So you'll have something else on the other end, and then that will fire down a pulse of all 8 cables. into here, and then you can test it and you can say, yeah, it's all working or it's not. Because often, great big buildings, there'll be something's not right.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
A lot easier way of testing it instead of going through every single cable.
Manually, yeah, definitely, yeah. Plug that in, away you go. But yeah, any proper company that does network as well. Again, with Syn-Star, we do the cabling and things, whereas most IT companies, actually, they're becoming more and more, they just do software. That's it. Whereas we've always done the proper hardware as well as software. That's it. Yeah. We've actually got toolboxes and everything.
We do indeed. Speaking of boxes,
here we go.
Do you remember what this is?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's a blast from the past. That is.
Would you like to explain to the people what this is?
I will give it a go. Can I open it up?
You can do. Do you remember the code?
Right. It's probably still on 0.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, right. No, it's actually, it's an empty one. It's a bit like the Deal or No Deal case. But I know what it was for. I remember what it was for. So what we had in that was, I'll leave that there. So years and years ago, probably 20 years ago, we used to do quite a lot of mobile phone hands-free kits for cars. And there were different types of hands-free kits. You could have ones that were literally just a button that you'd press just to answer it and hang up the call. And then the technology started to come out where you'd start having ones with screens on them. And the technology wasn't necessarily there to mimic the screen of your phone. It was more just to have a screen so you could see who was calling you, or so what this box was is it was a display mock-up for the hands-free kit, so you could actually say to people, right, here's a couple of different versions and here's how they work. And with this we could plug it into the mains and literally show the different hands-free kits working.
Oh wow.
Because some of them you could actually download all of your phone numbers to. Other ones would just say call coming in. So that's what that was. That's a blast from the past. That's got to be 20 years old, that one.
There we go. Before you were able to do it in your car like nowadays.
That's it. Now it's almost strange if a car doesn't have a built-in hands-free kit. Whereas back then, none did. But what you had before that was you'd have phones that clipped in for it to work.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, that was when Bluetooth technology started coming out. So Bluetooth really changed the game of how hands-free kits work.
Awesome. I've got one last thing to grab.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Check this out.
That's it. Has it got the... Look at this. This is actually, So, this is Well, this was really, I think, the game-changing moment for Apple, because before that they were very bland, beige boxes that they produced, and really it was only your geeky designers and things like that, certainly in the UK, that would speak about Macs. And then when these come out, they actually look pretty cool and funky, and suddenly people started wanting them in their homes and things like that. So definitely I think this is the original iMac, isn't it? So
how many different colours can you get it in?
I'm not sure. I think it was definitely available in a few, because there was a green one, wasn't there? And I think there was
there was like a white, frost white one.
That's it. So I think there was a few different ones. But I mean, this, I don't know whether it says on it that the spec of it, 4 gig hard drive.
Absolutely rammed.
Yeah, so this has got 32 megabytes of RAM, which when you think these days, most computers now, half decent spec ones, are 32 gigabytes of RAM. So you're talking, an insane amount of difference, isn't it? 32 meg to, and when this would have come out, this would have been, super expensive. Well, this would have been probably more expensive than what an iMac is today. So if you think that, and then, so 4 gig of physical space, whereas the average one now has probably got 1 terabyte. So you're talking, what's that? 4 gig, 1,000 gig. So yeah, 25 times the storage space nowadays. But for a similar price.
Yep.
So.
But then you use all that space as well. So
that's it. Well, you think as well, it probably hasn't got enough space. You know, that's why people use all the cloud storage and stuff. So, but yeah, no, the iMac was was one of those game changing, really, completely different to what was out there on the market. It wasn't so drab and boring as what computers were. So, oh, look at that original box for board. There you go. Original bag and everything. So yeah, there we go. That is the original iMac. Look at that. The green edition, this one.
I think it was meant to be the blue edition.
Yeah, well on the box it's it sort of looks sort of greeny blue, isn't it?
I think it was blue, it's just aged a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a nice colour.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you think, from a styling point of view, I mean, it's not mega kind of too bad from today, is it, really? I mean, obviously it's big and bulky and everything.
Yeah.
But in terms of the style, you wouldn't say that's sort of mega old-fashioned, would you?
No. And you got a handle to carry it around. I don't see that on computers these days.
That's it, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, so there you go.
There we go. That's everything we could find around the office. That was just like really intriguing. That as we've been doing technology for over 20 years now. So if you guys have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and let us know which one was your favourite one. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you.